G'day and welcome to another video with Better Pics. Hope this finds everyone well. Today I just wanted to demonstrate a few methods to bulk resize and save images. And we're going to do that through all the three major options offered by Adobe. So I'm going to demonstrate how to bulk resize and save images out of Adobe Camera Raw, how to do the same thing in Photoshop, and how to do the same thing in Lightroom. So you can see here, these are the images that I'm going to be demonstrating. There's a total of 20 images. They're all JPEGs. Of course, if you are bulk resizing and saving out or wanting to do that with raw images, then Adobe Camera Raw and Lightroom is the only option. But I just wanted to show from a JPEG how to do that. And the scenario where I use these tools the most is, say for example, if I've photographed an event and I've got X number of images and I've saved them as full resolution, and I also want to bulk save them out as a lower resolution for the client to use on their website, their social media, their email, anything that would require a lower resolution image. And it may simply just be to send the images to somebody with the benefit of speed and efficiency of lower resolution files. It may also be that you're making a submission to a magazine and you have a selection of 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 images to a media outlet, and you need to bulk resize them to make that process a little bit more efficient. So a number of scenarios where this is applicable, and hopefully this helps your workflow for speed and efficiency, which is really what it's all about. The nice thing here is if you're bulk resizing images, once you set it up to save out, you can just leave it and let it do its thing. Alright, here we go. So let's start with Adobe Camera Raw. First thing I'm going to do is select all the images. Now, even though these are JPEGs, you can open them in Adobe Camera Raw. Simply the same process of right click and open an Adobe Camera Raw. You can see all the images are in thumbnails down the bottom of the screen there. All I'm going to do is select all, so Control A or Command A, and up on the top right hand side here you've got this little box with a downward facing arrow to save the images. So I'm just going to click save there. Now this is the normal save option dialog box. The first one obviously is select folder, so I'm just going to navigate to the place where I have these stored, or where I would like to save them, I should say. Okay, so you can see I've set up 3 folders here specifically for this task. One for Adobe Camera Raw, one for Lightroom, one for Photoshop, and I'm going to start with the one in Adobe Camera Raw. So I'll just click on that and then hit select, and you can see that that's changed up the top there. Now I'm going to keep the file name the same. I'm going to keep the format the same, so JPEG and full quality, maximum at 12. And color space is going to stay the same because more than likely it's going to be used on the internet or the web in some way. So just down the bottom here is where we need to look at image sizing. So resize to fit. Now currently I have the long side at 1000 pixels and a resolution of 300 pixels per inch. Now the reason I use long side is because then it accounts for both landscape and portrait orientation. So it just means that whatever the long side is, it will convert or downsize that image to 1000 pixels. So if it's a landscape image, the long side is the horizontal, and if it's a portrait image, the long side is the vertical. Now you do have options: width and height, dimensions, long side, short side, megapixels, percentage. There's plenty of options there, and I would suggest just going through those and use the one that best fits your requirements or your needs. For me, and for the purpose of demonstration, I'm just going to have it as long side, 1000 pixels, 300 pixels per inch. Now I'm not gonna click on output sharpening because these images are edited, but certainly if you want to look at refining your sharpening process, then that option down the bottom there may be worth experimenting with and having a look at. All right, and that's it. So we've selected we've selected the file type and the color space, we've selected the sizing, which is the most important part of the demonstration for this process, and we're good to go. So now all we need to do is click save, and those images should save out relatively quickly. Alright, now that is all completed, and because we haven't fundamentally changed the size of the image within Adobe Camera Raw, we've just saved the size of the image that's saved from Camera Raw. There is a distinct difference there. We can hit done and no changes will be made to these images. So if we just navigate our way up to that folder that I've set up, so you can see here bulk resized images and Adobe Camera Raw. We click on that one and we can see if I click on one of those images, the long side is 1000 by 667 pixels. Now I don't actually have a portrait orientation image in this collection, but certainly if there was, that long side, which would be the vertical side, would be 1000 pixels long as well. So you can see that it's exported those images at the size that I wanted to. Alright, next one, we're going to go to Photoshop. So what we're going to do with Photoshop is going to go down to File, Scripts, and Image Processor. This is the most common way that I use to resize images. Because it means that I can have Photoshop working in the background while I'm continuing to edit images in RAW, Adobe Camera Raw or Lightroom. So it's just a great way to have a couple of processes going at once. You may find that your system slows down a little bit because it is a little bit processor intensive, but certainly if you're under the pump and you're trying to meet a deadline, then absolutely it's a good way to go. So when we click on Image Processor, you can see this dialog box comes up. First option, once again, we need to select a folder. So once this dialog box opens up, you just simply navigate to the folder that you would like to resize the images from. Again, save as JPEG, quality 12, the same as before. The images are, to the best of my knowledge, all already within sRGB color space, but just to be safe, I'm going to have that little option ticked there, and resize to fit. Now with this one, what we do is we simply enter the length or pixel dimension of what we would like the image to result in once it's been resized. Now, even though I've got width and height selected as or entered in as 1000 pixels, that's actually referring to the longest edge. So if for a particular image the width is the longest edge, then it will convert the width to 1000 pixels. If the height for a portrait orientation is the longest edge, then it will convert that longest edge, the vertical edge, to 1000 pixels. If it's a square image, then it's just 1000 by 1000, which is pretty straightforward. So from that perspective, when you click on Resize to Fit for the image processor within Photoshop, what you're actually entering in terms of measurements there is the longest edge for both those orientations, so width and height. And it will automatically apply that measurement to a landscape and a portrait image. So just keep that in mind. Now down the bottom here, you can actually run an action as well. If you want to. I'm not going to today, but all we're doing is bulk resizing the images. So save as JPEG, quality 12, convert profile to sRGB, so exactly the same as the previous example, and then resize to fit 1000 pixels on the width if that's the longest, or 1000 pixels on the height if that's the longest. Now what I'm going to do is select the location to save for the saved processed images. Now normally I would just save in the same location and it creates a JPEG folder specific to this batch process, but what I'm actually going to do is select a folder, because I've already set up those folders that I showed you earlier, and I'm going to exported image, bulk resized, and Photoshop. Select that folder specifically, and we are good to go. Alright, and the only thing we need to do now is hit run. What you'll see is the images will start cycling through and resizing within Photoshop. So each of those images are opened, resized, and then saved in the new location, as you can see happening now. Now because we're working off JPEGs and my computer is fairly powerful, it's going through those fairly quickly. Some of you may find that it'll batch resize, process and save these images quicker. You might find for some of you it may be a little bit slower. So don't be too concerned about any speed comparisons. Having said that, it's also dependent on what you're doing with your system. So as I said, you can continue to edit photos in Lightroom or Adobe Camera Raw, but the more processes your computer is working on at the one time, the slower generally it's going to be. All right, so that's all done. Let's head back to Bridge and check Photoshop. What you'll notice with Photoshop, as I mentioned, it creates a subfolder based on the file type. The reason it does that is because with Photoshop you can save JPEG, TIFF and PSD all at the same time. So it creates those subfolders so you know exactly which file type is in that particular folder. So if we just go into the JPEG folder there, you'll see that all of these images once again have been resized to 1000 pixels on the longest edge. So that's worked in exactly the same way, and we have the same results. Excellent. All right. So the last example that we need to show or have a look at is with Lightroom. Now, I don't actually have any images imported with Lightroom at the moment. So the first thing we need to do is import those images. So we'll just click import. All right. Once that import dialog box is ready to go, then we just need to navigate to the folder that we would like to import the images from. So in this case it's full resolution images, so the same images again. They're all checked, so once again we just need to click import. Excellent, they're all imported. Now what we're going to do is simply select them all and click export. And this is where the export dialog box from Lightroom pops up so that we can choose exactly where we would like them to go. All right, first option, specific folder, or where do we want to export them to, the location. So we're going to choose and we're going to go to, all right, now we're going to just simply navigate to the folder that we've set up specifically for Lightroom. Excellent. Just note here that you can put it in a subfolder if you want. I'm going to leave that unchecked. File naming, we're going to keep the same. File settings, JPEG, sRGB, and for Lightroom the quality is from 0 to 100. So we're obviously going to go with the 100 option to be consistent with the quality of the other ones. And resize, so image sizing, once again the same as Adobe Camera Raw. You simply select the long edge and you can see it's already got 1000 pixels there and resolution 300 pixels per inch. All right, yep, that's all fine, that's all fine, and we just need to export. All right, so that export out of Lightroom has been completed. If we navigate back to Bridge and have a look at the Lightroom folder, we can see that those images are there. And once again, 1000 pixels on the longest edge. So it's completed that task in exactly the same way. All of those images are 1000 pixels. So as you can see, Adobe Camera Raw, Photoshop and Lightroom all have options and tools to be able to bulk resize images quickly and easily. Really it just comes down to what process is going to best serve your workflow, what software you're already using, and what's going to give you the best and most efficient result. So obviously the outcome is that all the images are the same, they're going to be resized the same, compression levels are going to be the same. However, choosing the software platform to best suit your needs is really just a personal preference. However, the purpose of this video was just to demonstrate that bulk resizing of images can be done by all three options: Adobe Camera Raw, Lightroom and Photoshop. Hope this video has been helpful, and as always, any questions please leave them in the comments below. Look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.